Sacred Space Sunday. Good morning, good morning. It is Sacred Space Sunday. Yay! April 18th. Yeah, already in the middle of April. Time is just moving on fast. Keep it moving, as they say. Keep it moving. So I'm excited today. We have a really exciting conversation with the founder and pastor about the theologian and then a little bit after that, the doctor, Reverend Pastor, is going to have a really exciting conversation for us today. So welcome to Sacred Space Sunday. It's a place of interfaith conversation where we welcome people of all traditions. We're all traditions. We welcome you. We tend to share on a topic that's been divinely given to us, share our insight on it. But then we want to also hear from you. We're not here to convince you or convert you to our opinion. We want you to have space for your own. We just ask that you listen generously, and that we respect the others, right? We respect and value others, even if they have a different opinion than where yours is. And so, you know, our primary thing with the Niyah Center, Niyah means intent and purpose. And so we start everything with having a clear intention. And we believe that clarity of intention really allows us to move powerfully in our purpose, right? And so we like to educate, engage, and empower you through our programming, right? And so Sacred Space Sunday is one of our programs, and we're excited to talk about it today. If you want to contact us, you can contact us at the Niyah Center, nee@gmail.com. You see it scrolling across the bottom. We welcome folks to join us. If you want to join us live in the studio, or you want to join us live in the after space, just send us an email, right? Send us an email, particularly like today during the show. If you want to join in the conversation in the studio, send us an email. We'll check for it, and we'll put you in the waiting room so that when we do go live for after space, that we can then bring you into the broadcast for the others to see and hear you. Hey, baby.
Hello.
Oh, she's so beautiful, right? Isn't she lovely? I'm excited. I've been excited about this talk since you shared the topic with me that you're going to give today. But let me just do a few more things on housekeeping. And so that's Neonu Jewell. Chat, right? The chat. We encourage you to be active in the chat. We love the chat. Because it's a place where we can connect with you, right, to get an understanding of what you're thinking, what you're going on, your responses to maybe what you're hearing during the show, right? It's a place where you can, if you're on Twitch, right, you can, let me just put the thing for Twitch for those, because we always encourage folks to switch to Twitch and follow us. And the reason we do that is because there's a number of things in terms of freedoms that Twitch allows that, let's just say some of the other applications like Facebook and YouTube don't, particularly as it relates to music, right? Particularly as it relates to music. Hey, Auntie, good to see you today. Yes, Valori Thomas. Hey, Valori, man, it's been a long time. We owe each other a conversation. So let's, please, I did not forget about you. So I'm glad to see you today. Actually, Neonu and I were talking about you the other day. We were talking about how awesome the pictures that you took were, and love the way you integrate them into your work. Valori's an awesome coach, life coach. She is an awesome life coach. Valori, feel free to put your information in the chat, right? Your contact information, or if you want to put the information in about your business in the chat. We love people to be able to contact you and learn more about your services that you offer. This is my, can I say favorite auntie? Yes, definitely my favorite great auntie. Definitely my favorite great auntie. She's been part of my life ever since I can remember, right? Most of the not necessarily benchmarks, but like big moments in my life. Melody was a part of, and so my aunt Melody, I love you and we love you very much. Good to see you today. Good to see you today. Yes, the Niyah Center says hi, Valori. So I was talking about Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you can do a lot of stuff in the Twitch, right? We've got these funny emotes that you can use. You know, we'll just share some of the Niyah Center emotes that we have, right? And the way you get them really is just by subscribing, right? You get access to them by being a subscriber. And so when you subscribe, you know, you can also follow. Even if you don't subscribe, follow us. That way you'll get notifications when we go live for the different programs that we offer and things of that nature. And so, but you know, you're not limited to the emotes that we have. There's emotes across the Twitch offers. There's other DJs or things on Twitch. If you follow and subscribe to them, that you can also use their emotes. And it's a great place. It's a fun place, right? It's an exciting place. And so Valori, that's Valori's contact information. You see www.Valori Thomas. You're welcome, very much welcome. You're welcome.
We got to get Valori to come on Sacred Space Sunday.
I was just thinking that, man. We just like linked minds. So that's a request.
So Valori, that's out there.
Yes,
Let's
that
chat.
is a request. That is a request.
Let's chat.
Yeah, for some reason your camera's a little fuzzy. Mm-hmm. So just a couple other introductions. If you haven't followed us on the other social media platforms, please do. You can follow us on Facebook, right, at the Niyah Center. You can also follow us in Allverse. Allverse, as a matter of fact, we've got April is National Poetry Month, and during this month, Allverse is doing a collaborative poem. Right, so we need verses. Let me just put that up. I know I've got that here somewhere, right? Yeah. We need your verse, and we want to hear your verses. So what you can do is in Allverse, it's a curated group that we've had for several years, and in this Allverse group, you can do things like share, right? Share anything that's uplifting, anything that's forwarding to individuals or universe, picture or a comment, a song, a video. We don't have any restrictions. You can also share things that you're up to so other folks can find out. And we like you. We need your verse, right? We need your verse. It's National Poetry Month. And during our Allverse Thursday show at the end of the month, we're going to debut the collaborative poems that have been created. So if you haven't done so, if you haven't joined the group on Facebook, please join the Allverse group and put your comments, put your verse in the comments. You know, even if it's a line, you know, you don't have to consider yourself a poet or a writer, but we feel like your contributions are wanted and needed, and it's really exciting to see what can be created when we have folks from all over the world literally participating. And we've had that. We've actually had Allverse. We had a few Allverse collaborative poems, and they've all been international. So we welcome you to participate in National Poetry Month. Verse needed. We'll share it, and we'll also give you credit as a contributor for the poems. So, yes. Good morning, Laurencia. I see you in there. Good to see you. Good to see you today. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Sacred Space Sundays. Yes. Sometimes the time just flies, doesn't it? Sometimes the time just flies. So anyway, let me pull that National Poetry thing off. Go ahead, Nick. Good to see you.
Yeah, and great to see you, Laurencia. I know you reached out, and hopefully you got my response. So, I think that question that you posed to me, Laurencia, you picked the right day to be here at Sacred Space Sunday, because it is absolutely our topic for today. So stick around, and great to have you. What were you going to say, Mark?
No, I was just turning it over to you.
Okay. So yeah.
Well, I can do some more announcements, but I thought you maybe wanted to say. I know you went out. Did you?
No. Are you finished with the announcements?
Well, birthdays. We still want to acknowledge birthdays, right? So I love it. I love how we work together, right? We work and play together. I don't know what just happened to my screen, though. My camera fell. I apologize. So if you have a birthday in April, or you know someone that has a birthday in April, Put their name in the chat. We want to be right back. Got you, Lord. We want to acknowledge the birthdays, the celebration of life. I think Neonu did a talk. Maybe it was around your birthday last year. Another revolution, right? A revolution, and really an appropriate word as we think about revolution in terms of the definitions of it and change. And it's a great time for us to have a revolution in our thoughts, our actions, our words, and our deeds. Yeah. Lance Scott Jones, that's my cousin right there. Lance Scott, I'm sorry, I didn't see you put up. Lance Scott, yes, that's my cousin, Lance. Happy birthday to Lance Scott. Oh, it's actually today. Yeah, so I have to send Lance a message. Yeah. Any other April birthdays, feel free just to put them in the chat.
Shout out recent birthdays, friends of mine, Andrea Simpson Hadley and Lori. So those are two birthdays that I shout out. I know there's lots more birthdays in April.
Ariel Davis, our niece, right?
Yes, Ariel Davis. She has a birthday in April. And a lot of hip hop people have birthdays in April. I was listening to something on the radio yesterday, and one of the DJs, I mean, he said like 5 different names that I recognize. So happy birthday to all the entertainers and artists out there.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, you have to look at it on Twitch. So that's another reason to follow us, right? The last show we did on Thursday, Ode to DMX for All Verse Thursdays, Ode to DMX. And it's a compilation of reflections on his life, live performances, and excerpts from live performances, poetry, prayers, as well as music. And a special dedication poem that I wrote in honors called Ode to a Poet. So check that out. You can click the replay in the videos. You go to the Niyah Center, you see it down below, and just click on it, it'll play for you. Yeah, Miss Sister, the Queen of Bina, Queen Abena. Yes, your Sister Rita, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Good to see you, Queen. Good to see you today. So any other, if you're interested in sponsorship, as you might be able to see the logo over the top of Nay's head. You see the banner scrolling across the bottom. If you've got a product or a service or something, an event that you want to promote, you want us to help promote, we'd be more than happy to talk about different sponsorship packages, look to support you. You can simply just contact us at the Niyah Center Gmail for that. Anything related to this, contact us at the Niyah Center. If you're interested in joining us live in the studio, as I said earlier, whether it be live on the show for the main broadcast, Sacred Space Sunday, or if you like, even today, right? If you say, hey, you know what, I don't want to necessarily be in the show, but I love to, I've got some stuff that I think it's too much to type in the chat. Send us an email today, right now, and we'll bring you into the waiting room. We'll send you the link so you can come into the waiting room for the after space. And the after space is only on Twitch. We play some music, we do some other things, but we'll actually bring you into the waiting room, and you'll still be able to hear the broadcast while you're in the waiting room. And then when we start the after space, we'll bring you live onto camera so the audience can see it and hear you as well. What else? Oh, Reiki sessions. Reiki just means supernatural energy, right? And so if you have some stresses in your life, physical, emotional, societal, whatever, that you're looking to work through, Reiki is an ancient practice, is an ancient wisdom that goes back to before it was been called so many things over the ages. Literally, just started to be called Reiki in 1932. But what it does is creates a deep sense of relaxation so that the body can heal itself, right? I'm a Reiki master. We've been supporting people, particularly in this last year. It's more than a year, got to say almost a year and a couple of months now, with virtual Reiki sessions. So you don't have to be in person. We do it virtually. And yes, does it work over the video? Absolutely. We got several testimonials we can share with you about that. Okay. I think the next Sacred Space Sunday is 5 2. But you know what? We can share that a little bit later. Neonu. What about this? I love the posture of what?
Presence, posture of presence.
Yes.
But hopefully, we thank you for all of you who have been active in the chat. We love an active chat here at Sacred Space Sunday. The whole point of what we do here is for this to be a conversation, to be interactive. So we want to hear your voices, what you think, what are you ruminating? What are you concerned about? That is related to what we're talking about and beyond the scope of what we're talking about. As Mark said, we're going to have an after space. We always have an after space, which is, the old days of hanging in the hallways, catching up with people individually after you attend a program. We do that virtually here. And so, please, if today during my talk, you have some thoughts, some things come up and you want to express it, you want to share it, you've got some things that you think will really contribute to this conversation, please don't keep it to yourselves. Click Niyah Center, email us here at niahcenter@gmail.com. As you see, we are both the hosts and the producers. So as you see our eyes going side to side, it's because we're checking the screens, checking the chat. We're doing lots of things while coming to you live and in person. So it's not that we're distracted, it's just that we're trying to do it all. So we will be checking the Niyah Center Gmail email to see if anybody emails so we can send you the link to come in live in studio. And as Mark said, if you come in studio, you'll be in a waiting room. So no fear that if you click the tab, all of a sudden you're on screen and going live across the world and you don't know it. No, you'll be in the waiting room and we'll leave you there until we start the after space. But you'll continue to be able to hear and see the broadcast while you're in the waiting room. So take advantage of it. Try it out. Don't be fearful. Come join us. Let it be a conversation. Join Mark and I. So once again, niahcenter@gmail.com. And thanks to all of our subscribers, those of you who are already subscribing to us on Twitch, yay, and thank you. If you're not subscribing to us on Twitch and you like what we're doing here and you want to support our programming and help us to keep doing it, hit the subscribe button. If as we're talking, there's something that we're doing that gets you excited, that you just want to give it, 2 thumbs up, the way you give 2 thumbs up on Twitch is to hit the cheers. And the cheers is the little icon where you see the message box. It says send a message in Twitch. There's 2 icons. The first icon is a diamond, and that's where you can click and you can cheer and support our broadcast, support Sacred Space Sunday, and support the Niyah Center through your donations. The second icon is a little smiley face, and that's where the fun icons are. You get icons when you subscribe to our Twitch channel and to other Twitch channels. So that's what that's all about on Twitch if you're newer to Twitch. So with that, let's take a moment here to just become present. As Mark said, a posture of presence. And today, I think it's important for us to take a moment to reconnect and get inside our body. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. This will be guided. And the invitation is really to feel your body, feel the sensations, and connect to your breath. So let's just take a moment to, if you can pause wherever you are, whether that's standing or sitting, to just connect to the ground that grounds you. And roll and relax those shoulders down and back. That felt so good. I'm going to do it again. Back and down. Relax those shoulders. And find that posture of presence, which is an erectness in your body, a straight line through the crown. Opening up the airways. And find yourself in your presence position, whether that's eyes closed or looking down at the tip of your nose. And begin to connect to your breath. Feel your breath. Notice the in-breath. Notice the out-breath. Breathing in, I notice I'm breathing a short breath. Breathing out, I notice I'm breathing a short breath. Breathing in, I notice I'm breathing a deep breath. Breathing out, I notice I'm breathing a deep breath. Noticing the breath. The rise, the fall of the abdomen. This is the practice of presence. It is a practice of returning to our breath. As the natural thoughts come, allow them, label them, let them go. Return to the breath. Releasing everything that came before this Sacred Space Sunday, releasing all that will occur once we come to an end, looking forward only to the next breath, the life of the next breath, the possibility in the next breath, the potential in the next breath, the truth in every breath, the love in every breath, the freedom in every breath. And if your eyes are closed, begin to flutter them open, maintaining the presence. Thank you. Amen. Namaste. Ashe. I don't know how that felt for you, but that felt good to me. And I needed it. I needed it. So today's talk, not hope, faith. Not hope, faith. There is a lot of suffering going on in the world. And for many of us, also in our personal lives. These last few weeks have highlighted the ongoing struggle for justice, equity, inclusion, peace in our society. I received notice this week that a noose was hung on the roof of my seminary, Union Theological Seminary in New York. So much pain and grief. And so with today's talk, I answer the question, with all the suffering, how do we get up each day knowing oneness, love, and joy? My answer, not with hope, but with faith. Not with hope, but with faith. Hope is a wish. Merriam-Webster says hope is a noun. They define it as to want something to happen to be true, hoping for the best, hoping for a job, hoping for a promotion, hoping for a romantic relationship, hoping for more money, hoping for peace, hoping for justice, hoping for fairness in society. Hope is also a verb defined to expect with confidence. You will get a job, I hope. It's a bit stronger, but hope's still a wish. So many of you remember and are aware of the wish factor. This was made famous by Cedric the Entertainer and the Kings of Comedy, the Kangs. He talked about the wish factor, going to a concert back when we could go to a concert and you got your tickets and you walk up to your seats and you're thinking to yourself, is somebody going to be sitting in my seats? Because I got really good seats and they're up close and I'm a little bit late. And so I'm thinking somebody might be in my seat. As a matter of fact, I wish MNF would be in my seat. I wish MNF would be in my seat. Here, you could easily substitute hope. I hope MNF would be in my seat. See, because hope is a wish. Both say, yes, there might be somebody in my seat, but they might not. To some extent, I want somebody to be in my seat, but I'm not sure that they will. Because with hope, there is a wanting. However, when that is examined closely, at the root is doubt. Ready to pop off. That's right. When you examine hope closely, its root is doubt. I read an article that I want to share pieces from with you now. Eugene Robinson, Washington Post columnist, wrote an article this past week, August 12th, on the Derek Chauvin trial. I want to believe justice is possible in Derek Chauvin's trial, but a part of me holds back. Hope is dangerous. He begins the article by saying, after hearing in such clinical, heartbreaking, infuriating detail about George Floyd's final agonies, I want to believe justice is possible in the Derek Chauvin trial. I want to believe the jurors heard what I heard and felt what I feel. I want to allow myself to hope for it. But part of me holds back. He goes on to describe a lot of what transpired with witnesses and testimony during the trial. But he concludes the article in saying, Floyd's death is fully documented on video recording from multiple angles. The onlookers' cell phones, the officers' body cameras, a surveillance camera across the street. All the jurors have to do is believe their own eyes and ears. I should be able to expect that they will do so. I should at least be able to hope they will. But hope still feels dangerous. I want to believe jurors will see Floyd simply and fully as a man. Too often, that has been too much to hope for. Hope is a wish. It's a wanting. When examined closely, it is rooted in doubt. That's hope. So what is to sustain us in times of crisis like now, of pain, of need for new circumstances? Not hope, but faith. I was recently watching an episode of Queen Sugar, Ava DuVernay's drama series, also executive produced by Oprah. And the mother of one of the characters died as a result of COVID-19. He was distraught. And his wife reminded him that his mother was a person of faith, and so was he. And that the only thing to do in that moment of multiple griefs, again, death as a result of COVID-19, the only thing to do is to lean into that faith. So why faith and not hope? Hope is reliance on something external. Faith is internal. We've talked about faith. Faith is the internal experience of that which is ultimate concern. Truth. Faith is the internal experience of that which is ultimate concern. Truth. Knowing this ultimate concern, reality, reason for life, truth, one can trust in it. Through faith, the internal experience of truth, we can trust, not hope, not desire or wanting, not wishing. We can trust. Faith requires trust in truth. Mahatma Gandhi, the Hindu revolutionary, the prophet. Gandhi believed truth is God and God is truth. He said his religion was based on truth and nonviolence. I want to read an excerpt of Gandhi's words on God. Gandhi asked the question, but who is God? God is not some person outside ourselves or away from the universe. God pervades everything and is omniscient as well as omnipotent. That's everywhere present and all powerful. He does not need praise or petitions. Being immanent in all beings, within, inside. Being immanent in all beings, God hears everything and reads our innermost thoughts. God abides in our hearts and is nearer to us than the nails are to the fingers. Now, this writing from Gandhi may sound very familiar to those of you who identify as Christian and have read similar passages in the Bible. No coincidence there. Integral to Islamic religious thought are the 5 pillars of Islam. The first pillar is the Shahada, the declaration of Islamic faith. Identifying as a Muslim begins with the Shahada, stating there is no God worthy of worship but God, and Muhammad is its prophet. This is the Shahada. This is the first pillar of Islam, known as the declaration of faith. All of the Islamic beliefs, rituals, daily activities are grounded in this faith. What does the Bible have to say about faith? I think we've got the banner if anybody is interested in the verses. First comes from Ephesians 3:16 and 17. You put those glasses on. I went to the eye doctor yesterday, said, oh yeah, all those prescriptions need updated. I'm waiting on them. Give me a week, y'all. Ephesians 3:16. I pray that according to the riches of his glory, he may grant that you may be strengthened in your inner being with power through his spirit, and that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith as you are being rooted and grounded in love. So whereas hope is rooted and grounded in doubt, here we have faith rooted and grounded in love, the love that is truth, the love that is God. Love, truth, God. This is where faith is rooted. Hope is rooted in doubt. Let's go on to what I and others call the faith in action chapter. So this is chapter 11 of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 11. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though I recommend that you do. I'll say it again. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though I recommend that you do. If you're looking for your biblical scripture that roots what I'm talking about today, not hope, faith, and faith in action, you can find it in Hebrews 11. But let's just read a little bit. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for. The assurance of things hoped for. Faith is not hope. It is the assurance of things hoped for. Because remember, hope is a wish. If you want assurance of that wish, then you've got to go to faith. That's the first line. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Because faith is an inner experience of ultimate concern. That's not visible. That's not seen, but it is felt. By faith, we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of God, so that what is seen was made from things that are not visible, that there is a greater force at work that you can only tap into through your faith. Faith offers freedom, connection, reconciliation, and power in a world where we may feel powerless. And right now, a lot of us are feeling powerless. Through faith, this supernatural technology mysteriously, blessedly, graciously, it will soothe your spirit. It will push you to action. It will reconcile your heart to a place of equanimity. In the Buddhist tradition, it's all about how do we alleviate suffering, because suffering is real in the truth of our existence. And how do we alleviate suffering and get to a space and place of equanimity? And the practices of the Buddhist tradition are designed to get you there. Faith in those tenets. Faith is what creates peace beyond understanding. Faith creates that it ain't all right, but it's gonna be all right. Faith creates that, no, I don't feel good, but I know it's all good. And the recurring womanist experience of faith, making a way out of no way. Faith in action. Faith makes a way out of no way. Hope leaves you wanting, wishing, worrying. Hope has no depth, no soul, no force, no energy. It's inactive. Faith is active and activating. This is the insight plus application. Faith is active and activating. I am not here. We are not here. Niyah Center is not here to prescribe you your faith. You determine your truth. You know what your inner experience of ultimate concern is. You know by which name or names your God or gods go by. Or whether there is a belief in an ultimate concern, which is the alleviation of suffering that is not associated with a deity. You know your faith. But whatever your faith is, now is the time to put your faith in action through the daily practices that support that faith, through the daily practices that support that faith. Whatever your practices, your rituals are, whether that's one prayer, 5 prayers a day, a 30-minute meditation, a 2-hour sit, silent retreats, puja devotions, fasting, chanting, ancestral conversations, singing, dancing, drumming, altar devotion, temple worship, or reading your sacred text. Whatever it looks like, find your faith practices. I was on a call this week with the board that I sit upon, and the challenges continue to plague the organization. And the CEO is under tremendous pressure, as many CEOs are across this nation, across the world, as they try to maintain their organization in the face of competing pandemics. And when we offered him love and support and wanted to let him know that he was seen and held up, the one statement he made: I am thankful for my meditative practices. Faith, not hope, is the source and support that we are looking for right now. Whatever your faith practices are, lean into them now. The practices reconnect you to your faith. Through your faith practices, not hope, you find resilience. You remember who and what you are, that you come from love, that you are loved, that you are love itself. You remember that while the road of life is windy with mountains and canyons, not just hills and valleys, mountains and canyons, and it is also filled with joy and light. Faith is the fuel for our journey. So stop hoping. I remember a couple of years ago, a woman Mark and I know told us, hope is for suckers. I was taken back. I said, what? She said, yeah, hope is for suckers. Look, that's a strong way to put it. But when you think about how I have defined and described hope today, this is why Eugene Robinson said, hope is dangerous. It is rooted in doubt. It is inactive. It doesn't have force and energy. So shift that hope to faith. It doesn't mean give up. It means invest your energy and time in the right energy, in something that's energetic. Faith, not hope. Right now, I need my faith. I lean into my faith. I choose and commit to faith. What are you choosing? Mark's on mute.
Yeah. No, sorry about that. I said thank you. That was provocative. You know, I was thinking as you were sharing hope, how many times I used that word, and I've also been one to proclaim that hope just gets you hoping, and yet there's something that has me still wanting to use that word, so I love the distinction between hope and faith. And faith is an action word, right? It required, you can't have faith without action. Otherwise, it's just hope. Right? So thank you for that. That was very, very wonderful, beautiful insight in the examples of the different traditions of faith that you shared, from Gandhi to Islam, well as Christianity. I thought that really put it in perspective of it's available to everyone, right? It's available to everyone. I see there's a couple of comments in the chat. Brother Rod, welcome, Rod. And thank you for your support. Love this message. Love this message. Rod is one of my business partners and my homeboy from Chicago. Shout out. Never thought about this topic and the distinction.
Yeah, it's critical. It's critical.
Yeah. Now, when you say
practices, often for many of
on that, go ahead. Yeah, I was going to ask you to expound on that.
Yeah, the faith practices often in these modern times and is something that goes, right? The days seem long, they're filled with much activity, and we're looking to juggle, and where's the time, right? We focus on, you should exercise. But many of us are like, I don't have time.
Mhm.
And I will offer, yeah, as you're working through that, that's real. But these faith practices are not optional.
Mhm.
They're not optional. If you're looking for peace, the resilience, that thing that you're looking through to get through your day is not caffeine. It's not a false temporary adrenaline. Now, you should exercise and eat right and do all of those things. Because guess what? That of God and faith as well, because you're taking care of your body, this temple that has been given to you so that you can bestow your gifts on the world and so that you can navigate through all of the suffering that is occurring and contribute your gifts to alleviate that suffering. Again, not prescribing your faith or your faith practices. So whatever that looks like for you. But if you feel that there's an absence of that something to get you going, it's a return to the practices.
Amen. Teach, preacher.
Yeah. So, this morning, just to talk about, faith practices and how, that can look different for different people. This morning, my faith practice was doing 20 minutes of yin yoga. We call that a twofer. However, rooted in the Asian traditions that come out of India, the Indian traditions, yoga, as we talked about, is a discipline and was originally, and it truly is a faith practice. Yoga is a faith practice. It got commercialized out here in the West and it's been turned into an exercise, but yoga means discipline and it is an ancient faith practice. And
say
so
that again. The yoga means discipline. I think that I want to make sure that we heard that, right?
Yes, yoga means discipline. And so it is an ancient faith practice. And so yin yoga, as we've talked about here before, is a slow yoga where the three tenets are stillness, time, and sensations. You hold the poses in stillness for time, experiencing the sensation. So it is a mindful, meditative, embodied practice. So it was an opportunity to get in my body, to be still, to be present, and connect to my ultimate concern in a 20-minute time period. So yeah, so when I say I don't think the practices are optional, if we're looking for freedom, if we're looking for peace, if we're looking for that supernatural technology that will give us clarity and push us to action and have us not having this, this emptiness feeling that is sometimes indescribable yet forever present, that there just seems to be, you're striving, you're thriving, you're wanting, and yet. And so redirecting that to an energetic that's much more activating is supportive.
Awesome, thank you.
Let's see what MP Third have to say.
There's a question in the chat. What is your daily faith practice, or what are some daily faith practices? As you're listening, you be generous and share in the chat. Others may be interested in those practices. Go ahead, Nate.
No, I'm just reading Monty's comments here, right? And yeah, that's why we call it a practice, a faith practice, and it's ongoing and it's daily and it's a recommitment. It's an ongoing recommitment to continue to learn and to grow. But what faith does is it takes it out of the loneliness. Hoping is I'm wishing on something external to take place that'll create something and that it'll be, and that's fantasy. Whereas courageous and consistent leaning into a learning through faith, through being present and in the practice, knowing and trusting, right? That you are connected, oneness to something that, ill-defined, unseen, but felt. So that's trusting in your body and what you feel and what you know intuitively to be true. which to some may seem the same, but is nowhere close to this hope.
You know, thank you for that. Thank you, Monty, for your comments. Others, if you have thoughts around faith practices, we'd love to hear them. Please just put them in the chat. Also,
what are some of your
if
practices?
you were interested in joining us in the After Space discussion live, just send us an email right now, and we'll send you the link to join us in the studio where we can share your, and people can see as well as hear you in that regards. You know, it's interesting, this topic. This morning, part of my routine in the morning is I listen to inspirational music, right? And so I like artists like Marvin Sapp and William Murphy and Kiera Sheard. I don't know if I said her name right. But I like the music where when they sing to you, you feel like it touches your soul, right? But one of the songs that I remember in the time where I was hoping to get out, I was going through a situation that was traumatic on myself and my daughter. We were both having a hard time dealing with it. And there was a song that by Walter Hawkins, "Be Grateful," right? And I said, well, I remember sitting down and talking with us and said, hey, let's listen to the words of this song, right? Because I think there's a message here that we can apply. And it said that God didn't promise me sunshine, right? Didn't say that there weren't going to be bad times, right? Also that there's maybe somebody better off than you, but there's somebody that's worse off than you. And if you can find a way to be grateful. So what that did for me was to and set me to have a practice with gratitude, which gave me what I took from you. What you're saying is that a faith practice creates connection. And so in that practice of gratitude, I got to connect with a possibility that was greater than me.
Yeah, I've told this story before. Part of my spiritual journey has been to really deeply connect with other traditions. And part of that was a time that I spent where I was engaging in the practices of multiple traditions. And I spent a week where I was engaging in the practice of the 5 daily prayers that are done in the Islamic tradition, done at the times that they do, in the way that they do, using the protocols of that practice. And I found it completely insightful. And the sense of, and I was not on a vacation or at a retreat, I was living my life. So to stop at strict times, whatever you're doing, to go and engage in this embodied practice that has specific ritual elements as an opportunity to reconnect to faith in God, had me looking at my days and my world completely differently. And so whatever the stresses and the things that went on in the day, there were determined times where I had to stop and reconnect to that inner ultimate truth.
It was powerful too. I remember you doing that. Another practice that we tried, we did for a while, was the Shabbat on Fridays. Right. And so we're not Jewish, we're not Muslim, and what I think is great about this faith practice, you don't have to be Hindu to practice yoga. You don't have to be a Muslim or Islam to practice prayer 5 times a day. You don't have to be a Christian to pray. You don't have to be Jewish to celebrate recognize the Shabbat, right? Because really, if you take all of those religious titles away from it, each of them does the same thing: create a connection to that, what you said, which is internal. And I want to take it even further. That which is internal, which is who we are. We're in divine beings in human form. Connect to the divinity that is in us is what these faith practices allow.
Yeah, because when you do that, the world circumstances start to appear different to you. The world, you are able to put the world circumstances in perspective. It is not a detachment from, it is not an ignoring, or now, oh, you're just in your little spiritual bubble and you're in some la la land and just the world is groovy and everything. No, not at all. Not at all. But to put it in perspective so that you can keep going, so that you can take these blessed energies and gifts that you have been given to go out there and do what you need to do. Whether that is taking care of your family, contributing to your community, or all of the above. But that you have a divine strength to be able to do that. All right, let me read this.
Yeah, so let me just put this on the screen for those that are in different foreign places. For fear and anxiety, he uses prana, right? And he's prana is another form of life energy. As you heard me earlier talking about Reiki, things that has been called many things over the ages. These ancient practices, right? These ancient wisdoms, which have these practices in that. Not only does it connect him spiritually, but he talked about it physically help, his joint pain reduction, right? And reducing inflammation. And so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
Because pranayama breathing is another one of these practices, these Indian practices that come out of what we like to call the East, split the world into the East and the West. We love the other, but this is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. These ancient practices that understood connecting to the body, that the body, the spirit, the mind, all of that are connected and are not compartmentalized. So beautiful, beautiful. If others are interested in learning more about pranayama breathing, you can find it certainly on the internet and a lot of the yoga websites. I'm a big fan of Gaia.com because not only does it have authentic practices, but a lot of other information for you to study. But there are lots out there.
And as I just listened to you, Niyah, you think, you would probably see my cup. Y'all says I don't need Google. My wife knows everything. And I really ask her, and she gets offended when I ask her. She's like, "Why don't you go find out on your own? Go Google." And I'm like, "Why Google when I have you?" Well, look at her. She's just a wealth of information. So this is a perfect cup. I love you, baby. Love you.
Everything, y'all. He asked me everything. Everything. I'm like, no, I don't actually know everything. And Google is like at your fingertips because it pretty much does know everything.
Yeah, Google University, as my father called it. I use that phrase often.
What other thoughts do you all have, family, as we're coming to the top of the hour? We certainly will look to move our conversation and jazz. So, I wanted to talk about this topic today because it's a reflection. Yeah, Google does have the answers, right? That's right. Right. And my name is actually not Google. And I don't get any of their money, okay? I might be getting a couple of pennies in one of my 401ks or IRAs, but not enough. Not enough.
What they say, clip that. That is one of the most. Let me put my flip that emote up in the Twitch land. The Twitch streets. Yeah.
So it doesn't look like we have anybody who's joining us live in the studio. Okay. Don't be scared, y'all, but I am checking the Niyah Center at gmail.com. So know that we do check it. And should you want to join us and give us your thoughts, because this is your community. It's our community. Thank you, Auntie. Yeah, there's just so much going on. I wanted to remind myself and the rest of us that we actually do have an answer in these very, very turbulent times. And particularly, as this week comes up, for me, the elephant in the room, this trial will wrap up in terms of final closing statements and then deliberation by the jury. And so regardless of that outcome, what is it that I know? I can trust in the truth that is my faith.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And, and given that there's probably many people that could use some love, right? And some blessings. And so we want to offer an opportunity if there's someone that you want to send some blessings and oneness, love, and joy. Before we move into the after space and close with the prayer, please type your name in the chat. Right? Type their name in the chat. blessings of oneness, love, and joy is because hey, we know that people, we need each other, right? We are what we have, right? We are what we have. I was texting back and forth with my good friend JB earlier today. I was actually sharing that "Be Grateful" song we came on, and how I would listen to it and how it got me through. And he was like, "Yeah, we get to be there for each other. We are what we have." And so, in that truth of the matter, any person's organizations or things that come into your mind or heart that you want to identify in the chat, please type their names in the chat so we can send them blessings of oneness, love, and joy. I'll give it just a moment for those that may be doing so before we move to the after space. So we have one, prayers for the families of the fallen here in Wisconsin's mass shooting. And last night, another shooting took 3 lives. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you. Yes, we will include them in our prayers and blessings of oneness, love, and joy. Any more? Any others? No. And so, as we just can give space for that, well, I will say also love donations. We accept and request your support. And we talked about ways to support us on Twitch as well. You can send direct love donations to expand, help us expand this vision, right? Help us continue to not only share, but to reach even more, right? To connect with even more in this faith in action movement, right? In this faith and action. So support, through a number of ways, whether it be Zelle or Cash App. We appreciate even the thought that you have in the consideration of support. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. So there's another prayers for all the graduating seniors. Yes, to finish strong in spite of all of the challenges in school. Yes. All the graduates, period. I mean, that, seniors and that would be high school as well, but people in college and undergrad and graduate school and seminary school. I think we might even have one in the group here with us graduating next month. So absolutely. So with that being said, if you have other names, you can just feel free to put them in the chat. If you're listening to this on a replay, just type it in the chat anyway, right? Type it in the chat anyway, because there's something powerful around getting it out from inside of your head, right? Like putting it out to the universe. It makes it real clear. It makes it real clear because the universe is designed by design to support the inhabitants of it. That's the way that it was designed. And so the way that we support that is by giving the universe clarity with our words, right? And so that it can be in motion around the thing that we're clear about to have that be manifested with our actions. So with that being said, I just want to take a moment and whatever way you want to acknowledge spirit and life and love, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to have this sacred exchange on this sacred Sunday, Sacred Space Sunday, to hear not only with our ears, but with our hearts and our spirits, to share in the connection of oneness, right? And the possibility that creating that connection can afford us. Lord, you see some of the requests that have been typed to the chat, or I know you already know some of the needs and some of the secret desires and requests that people may have in their hearts, right? And because you are able, we trust you, and because you love us, we know that you love us and want the best for us. We stand in this moment, Lord, and ask you to help us activate our faith. To activate our faith in a way that connects us to, even though we're human form, but connects us to the divinity that we were made from. The divinity that is present in everything. They say that you're too great you're not a man, and you're too great to behold in the form that you are. And so you put yourself in everything. And so I ask that you help me to connect and to remember that divineness, that supreme being, that giver of life, that creator, that triumphant, that the all powerful, the almighty, the peace in the midst of a storm, the way out of no way, that you are is also in me, and so that I am, and that those listeners, that they are, that we are, if we choose it. Support us in the healing, Lord. You see some of the devastation happening in the world. The comments around the shootings in Wisconsin, and the people that are looking to finish school and make it as they matriculate to another phase of their life, or the new beginnings, or the people that are worried about how am I going to go forward? What's going to happen this week with the trial, with the Chauvin trial, and just all of I just don't know where I'm going to go. Lord, thank you for a reminder of gratitude. Thank you for a reminder that there's a practice that even in the midst of that I can connect to the divinity and activate something way powerful, more powerful than hope. No, we don't come to you with a wish list, a Christmas list. We come to you saying in solidarity with you, thank you for what is going to be. Thank you for overcoming. Thank you for victories. Thank you for jobs. Thank you for healing. Thank you for peace. Thank you for change. Thank you for social justice. Thank you for getting me out of the depression. Thank you for keeping me safe and moving me along through my highways and byways. Thank you, Lord, for forgiving me and helping me to restore and restore and activate the creator that is in me to create what needs to be created. And in this moment, I just want to say thank you for Neonu and using her as your vessel, and her allowing herself to be used as your vessel, and the model that it takes that any of us can allow you to use us as your vessels, and the more of us that do it, the more lives to get touched. Thank you for the faith to use our voice, to use what other gifts and talents that we have to help not only ourselves, but to help others, right? And the more of us that use our voice, Lord, thank you for the power and the change that comes as a result of it. In your name, I thank you for all the divinity that you are and all the divinity that we are. Amen. Ashe. So it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, family. Any final thoughts? Thank you, Yo-Yo Baby. She chimed her prayers in there, which were captured in your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are going to move over to the after space. So if you are interested in joining us, just stay on. If you're not on Twitch, come on over to Twitch. This is a great time to make the switch to Twitch, twitch.tv backslash Niyah Center. So we're going to go ahead and continue the conversation over there. Mark, are you taking us out of some of the other things?
Yeah.
If there's any song requests, you can put those in as well. And we'll just really continue the conversation with anything that's on your hearts and minds, and just create a space for whatever conversation makes most sense after this.
Yeah. I'm removing us from the Facebook. The
Facebook. Thank you, Lamont,
so
for the thank you.
The Facebook. I know that's the old man. That's the old man in me. But I ain't old, y'all, so don't call me. I tell my students that. I've been teaching this last several months, and one of the students said something about old, and I said, "What age is that?" She said, like 60. I said, hey, I'm close to that, so I ain't old, so you got to watch your language in here. Watch your language in here.
His age.
All right, one more, and we'll end it on the YouTube, because